All right. Hello, my friends. My name is Nicole Reznick. I am the Market Center Tech Trainer here at Keller Williams DTC in the Denver, Colorado area. Today, we are diving into designs, and I'm going to show you all of my favorite tips and tricks on how to just get as speedy as possible in designs, making your life easier, bringing you joy. And so today we're probably going to spend a good 30 to 45 minutes just walking through tips and tricks. And then with that remainder of the time, I want to encourage you to then go into designs while we're still here, and I'm available to answer any questions that you have. So the classroom style that I'm most comfortable with is I'll show in the beginning so you have an idea of where we're headed. And then I really love it if you can then get your hands dirty and experiment. And then I'm here as a support and a resource for you. So sometimes we do things like we'll stop recording, but then I'll have you share your screen. We'll take a look at it and troubleshoot it together. And then you have an opportunity to walk through so that with all of those steps, so that you have the confidence that you've done this before and you can go out and do it on your own. How's that sound?
Fantastic.
Love it. Awesome. At any point, I want you to feel comfortable to unmute yourself, ask questions. If you see a question in the chat that I haven't addressed, like unmute yourself and call it out. That is a huge help to me because, sometimes questions come into the chat that I don't see. So I really welcome participation and engagement. And we're looking to have fun today. Like I said, I feel like designs is a very joyful space for me. So I'm excited about it. My background is in teaching. It's not in marketing. And designs is all about how do we build marketing pieces to show off our own professionalism, and also like it's so great to show our sellers all the things that we're doing for them. It's so great to have a professional piece to promote an open house, even if it's not your listing. It still speaks volumes about who you are as a realtor to have clean marketing and an aesthetic that carries from your social media to your listing presentation to your flyers. And I think it's so great that our platform of command makes it easy for you to have that and to do it. So today is going to be your introduction to it. If you're brand new to designs, I think you're going to get a lot out of this. And if you've played around in designs before, I want to show you some higher level tricks in here that can help speed up the process, especially if you're self-taught like I have been when it comes to designs. So here we go. I just want to start by showing how we can find designs and a little of the pre-work that I do. A lot of times when we create a marketing piece, it's based around a particular listing or a neighborhood, right? So sometimes it's actually helpful to start from our own agent site and look up that particular listing. So here's the listing that we're featuring today. Thank you so much, Mark. So this is land in Roswell, Georgia. So the first step that I did, just as like a little bit of pre-work, is I wanted to make sure that it could be found on our app or our websites. And so I simply just searched that street address, and here it is. So let's dive into command. A couple things that I want to point out really quickly is that I've taken the time to fill out my marketing profile. And you can see even just a little preview of it. When I open up command, I see my picture right here next to my name. This is populating from my marketing profile. That's one central location where I fill out my contact information, and it actually gets pushed out in a lot of different places. So as we work through this process and you're like, I don't feel like that information they have on me is correct, then where you're going to go is back to your marketing profile by clicking on your name. Then you're going to go to settings, the gear. We see all the apps that we're connected to. And then on the left side, we see a new menu. We'll click on connect settings and we'll click on our marketing profile. So this is where I have my headshot, my logo. If I have an individual or team logo, I would put that right there. And then I've got all of my contact information and details. So if you see anything as we're working today, you're like, that's not right, this is where you would go back to change that or update it. And then when you get down to the bottom, just make sure you hit save after making any changes at all. That will push that change forward basically in moments. So quick shout out to the marketing profile here. So when I'm back at the homepage, if I'm going to create a new marketing piece, such as a flyer, I'm going to go to the Designs applet. It is a canvas and a paintbrush. When I click on Designs, your dashboard is going to look different from mine, I guarantee it, because the dashboard is where we see all of our past projects, all different kinds of projects. I've got emails, I've got social media, I've got flyers, they're all here. And if I want to go back to something I've already created, I can filter by what type of product it was, like print. Let's say I've created my standard listing flyer. I don't have to recreate the wheel. I can go to that flyer and use these three little dots to make a copy of it. Now, when I take a new listing, I can just edit that copy and I've got everything else set. I'm just going to put in the new pictures and the new content for that particular listing. Everything else, like my contact information, can stay, like saving me even more time. Now we're talking about like a 3-minute flyer, which I love. So I would just simply rename that. Like this is going to be 123 Main Street instead of 123 Maple or whatever it is. So it's really easy to rename those files. But let's say we're coming in here, we're doing this for the first time. We're going to start a new project by clicking Create Design. And then we're going to tell the system what kind of design it is. So the editor for emails is going to be different than the editor for social and print. And that makes a lot of sense, right? They're two totally different products or three totally different products. We're talking about flyers. So we're going to select print and hit continue.
Hey,
So
Nicole, there's an opportunity to check that we're going to pull the text and photos from a listing. Is that something that you normally don't do? And if so, why?
Yeah, let's do that. Just to walk through and show that. So what it does is it's going to pull up this search for a property address opportunity here. So when I do that, and hi, Marianne.
Hi, Nicole.
All right,
Thanks for being here.
All right, so we've selected that listing. Let's walk through this now, having done that, and I can tell you how the process is the same or different. So where we land now is we see this bank of templates that you get to select from. So what I recommend doing is start on the left side with what the goal is. So today we're going to create a flyer that we could use for our listing. So I'm going to go to the listings folder and I see all of these different sections like coming soon or just listed or just sold, open house. And it's great. As I click on them, I can see that they're already templated for that specific purpose. If it's open house, it's going to show pictures of the listings and it's going to have a slot where you're going to put in what time that open house is happening, right? If it's just listed, then you're going to see pictures of the listing and featuring different points of interest about the listing. So they're handy templates for us. After I've picked my purpose on the left, the next thing I'm going to do is across the top, you can actually filter by the finished product size. What does that mean? Well, if I want to print an 8.5 by 11 flyer for my flyer box, I'll select that tab to filter. And now I only see the 8.5 by 11 designs. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it is so frustrating to make something that I feel like is perfect, only to realize that I picked the wrong paper type and I don't even have paper that size. And now, eek, what do I do? So it's so great to start out just with the right finished paper size in mind and the right purpose. So I always start with those two decisions. Then the rest is easy. I mean, really it's paint by numbers. So what you can see is we've got, I think, 5 different styles, branding aesthetic styles that you could use. And I think it's the easiest to see if I'm looking at our listing presentation. Look, it's so easy to see, like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here they all are laid out for me. If I want to work on like elevating my level of professionalism when it comes to marketing without even having to hire someone, like I can just say, everything I do is going to be in this classic style. And that way, everything that I send out to my people, they'll see that consistent marketing message. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick one of these styles and run with it. So I see that I've got these 2 choices right here. And I'm going to click use with the one that I want. So now the first thing that I always do, I'm just going to show you some of the main things that I do. Then you're going to take and just duplicate what I do to create your flyer in 5 minutes or less. I always start by renaming this. So I'm going to put in that address. So I've got a brand new name for this file. And then the next thing I like to do is I like to put in the listing pictures because it's just so much fun and it's so easy. So the way that this system works, right now it looks like a lot of the tools are hidden. And watch what happens when I click on this picture. It becomes highlighted in teal. Now I have the tool where I can resize the picture if I wanted to. I also have all of these new tools that just appeared. So if I wanted to change the opacity of this picture or put on a filter, those tools appeared because now the system was like, ooh, Nicole, you're working with the picture. What do you want to do with the picture? Does it need a filter? Does it need this or that? So I love that the system is like very flexible and it's working with me to provide the tools that I need right in that moment and nothing else that I don't need. I don't see anything about fonts here right now, right? So keeping our life simple, I love it. I clicked on this picture. I want to swap this picture out for my listing picture because Mark, I'm pretending your beautiful listing is mine. Where will I find those listing pictures? Do I need to upload them? No, I have KWLS. So I'm going to click on this KWLS symbol and, ooh, Marianne, this is so cool because we clicked import from that particular listing, the listing shows up right here. It just took us to it. When we click KWLS, it took us to that listing. So, so cool. Mark, these pictures look different. Is that right? Oh, no, there's the ones I'm familiar with. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it was listed on the residential and property, so there could have been
So
two.
got it. So we're seeing those residential ones first in this view. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so with the main picture highlighted in teal, all I have to do is looking at these pictures, I'm hovering my mouse over them and I see some different buttons. One of them looks like almost like a recycle button. That's replace image. All I have to do is click that and it swaps right into the formatting of that main image. Let me show you that again. I'm going to click on that placeholder. I'm going to move my mouse over the picture, click replace. It swaps it right in. One more time, I'm going to click on that placeholder, hover over the image that I want, click replace. It swapped it in. It feels like we're halfway done already with this flyer. Now, there's some more pictures that I want to update because I am not Lisa Johnson. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on that picture. I'm going to go to my images, right? I would go away from KWLS because my picture's not in my listing, but it is under my images. And the first thing that comes up is this section called My Assets. you've got your picture in your marketing profile, you will see your headshot here. And if you're like me and you like experimenting with different hair colors, you also have the opportunity to add some more. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. But I'll just shoot in
And
my
hairstyles.
new...
And actually even clothes for the different weather, different seasons where we could, change things out a little bit. Although for you, I don't know, that could be dangerous with all that snow.
All the different, we've got snowboarding Barbie, we've got summer tank top Barbie, we got it all.
Nicole, you lost me at hair. Yeah, sorry.
I love it. So, the way that I've seen a lot of people use this too is that if you sometimes work with a co-listing partner, how cool would it be to upload a specific image of the two of you or of your team? Sometimes it's just you, sometimes it's your team. You can have all of those accessible. So I'm excited to show you where that capability lives.
Hey, sorry, my Zoom calling me on the phone.
All right, the next thing I want to show you, obviously, I want to switch out my name as well. I've got quick and easy buttons for that too. When I click on that name placeholder where it says Lisa Johnson, and I click on text from our toolbar on the left, that My Assets section is also there with all of my contact info from the marketing profile. So when I go to that section of text, I can hover over my name and hit replace, which has kept the font size the same. It just swaps it right in. So you could do that with your app link and all of this good stuff. But what I want to caution you against here is when I click on this next block, there's 3 different text pieces that are all one block. If I were to hit replace, then the only thing that would show up in there is my phone number, and I wouldn't see the rest. So how do we deal with that situation where I do want to have those 3 distinct pieces in that one box? This is where we get to use my favorite hidden tool. It looks like an unwrapped candy bar, and it lives right next to the font size.
What do you want to do, Raquel? Like I said, I'm not trying to do anything wrong with you guys. So
can you mute?
Okay, I think I got that person there. Okay, so, and the tricky thing is sometimes you'd be like, where is it? If I am not clicking on any text, I won't see it. But when I go to click on a piece of text, so the system knows I'm working with text, then I'm going to see this button, and it's called typewriter. So I'm going to click on typewriter, and it shows me that text, but zoomed in. I mean, how many times, this happens the most when I'm working on my listing presentation or buyer presentation, like how do I edit this text? It looks so tiny. How do I even get my cursor to the place where I want? That typewriter button makes it easier to just open that up and edit. So that's where I'm just quickly going to put in my information by typing it.
Is this a new feature in designs, or has this always been there? Because
that's such a great question. And Sam, I don't know if you know how long it's been there, but I have only come aware of it like in the last maybe 4, 5, 6 months.
About the same, yeah.
I literally was made a postcard yesterday and just discovered it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a game changer too.
It makes me so much happier to be able to like not feel like I'm going crazy of like, how do I see that and type it? So you just type what you need and click save, and it updates there, which I love.
When you do that, it uses the same size font?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Now, if I wanted to resize this, and I was adamant, it all needs to be one line instead of wrapping into 2, I can hover my mouse over. Do you see how I get these different arrow shapes and sizes? They do different things. So I can stretch out the length of this box. So now it goes back to being one nice long piece of text. I can make it larger or smaller by pulling it diagonally. And I can just move it around by using that 4-way arrow and place it in different spots on this flyer. And you can even see those purple guideline lines showing up to help you center or keep things even. So there's some handy tools that just keep popping up to help you at the exact right time. So we're looking really good, but we're still missing a couple different things like the right address. That's where I'm going to go back to KWLS. I've clicked on this address box. I click on KWLS out of my tools. I don't need pictures. I need listing details. So if you scroll back up to the top of KWLS, you'll see photos as one tab, listing details as the other. And this brings in all of that up-to-date MLS information that you would see on your app, that you would see on your website. And this isn't only for your own listings, because you can see I'm editing with Mark's listing. Let's say you're doing an open house on behalf of another agent, right? Somebody else's listing, you could do this. How cool to not even have to ask them for the listing photos. Like, I got it, I've got KWLS. So I've got the address highlighted. I see the address here. I am going to click replace and it just shoots that address right on in. Same font size, everything. I can also do that. This is my favorite hack. Maybe you like putting the bullet points in and you can craft those using the typewriter button and write them all out. Maybe you really like your listing description and you like saving time. You can actually use the listing description and recycle that on in there. You can resize this box and you could use something like the spacing button to just kind of shrink that spacing down a little bit and your listing description fits right on in there. Time saver. The last piece, what tool do you think you would want to use here since we have so much information right there? That's where I like to use the typewriter again.
Typewriter.
Yep. And I can see I've got 4 beds, 4 baths. So because I've got KWLS on the left, it's really easy to just then on the right side, update that information here. And you know, you have the freedom to decide what you want to put in here. Maybe you don't put in square feet. Maybe you want to put in, what was it, like 7.7 something acres. Putting the price, you get to decide. If I don't want to put the year it was built, I can just take that out. I am in total control here on what I want to include. And what's the price here? You can see I'm squinting like, what's happening?
We are too.
All right, so, I mean, it's 11:25. I've done a lot of talking and we are almost done with our first flyer right here. And I've like explained as much as I could explain. So even if this is a 25-minute flyer, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's talk about logos. When I clicked on this logo, the system said, oh, great. I'm going to take you to the logo section and I'm going to take you to my assets because I think you're going to want to put your personal logo here. Thank you. Like that, it just works. I love it. So I'm going to, in the same way, hover over the logo of my choice. We're going to go into like, how do we control what logos are in this section and showing up for me every time? Because you'll want to learn how to upload different logos. You can see that I've got the kind that are invisible so that no matter where I put this, it's going to look good. If I put this over something, a white background, that white background shows through. If I want to put this logo in over my picture, I love the white and it's again, invisible background and it'll look professional. These types of files are called PNG files. And I want to show you how to get them and upload them so you can do this too, if you don't already have it. So this is it. We've got a fully complete flyer from our contact information to our logo to our listing pictures. Any questions or ahas before I show you how to download and print?
How do we, would we save this as template now that we did we've added all the information for us in our market center. How do we save this? How do you recommend we save it to become our template so then we can do a 5-minute flyer when we need the next one?
I think that's a great idea. And I think each person probably has their own different ways of keeping track of files. But by calling it something like just listed template, how great to always know that you can search for that keyword template, find it, make a copy of it. I think that's a great idea, Miriam. Love it.
To do that, do you just hit done and then it'll go into your designs?
Yes.
That's what she was asking. I think, is that what you were asking?
Yes, it was, Mark. Thank you. I
Oh,
wasn't asking
okay.
it very well.
Yeah, if you just hit done, then it goes into your templates, right?
Yep. So my final steps, as I'm ready to wrap up, what I would be doing is first, I probably want to print this if this is like really for my listing. So I would click download, and you have the option to download as a PNG or a JPEG. Those are both image files. So if I wanted to upload that as a picture to Facebook, for some reason I could, right? And if I'm ready to print it, then I probably want to choose a PDF. So I would download this as a PDF. If you have the option to maybe send this to a professional printer and they might ask you about including bleed, you have those options and that control. And if we're talking about multi-page projects, you also have the control over exactly what pages you want to download. This is just one page, so all I have to do is hit download here. And so up here, I see this little progress marker. It's a gear and it says preparing. So it's processing this, and then I'll see that in my downloads down below. There we go. Here's the PDF of my flyer. From here, I just go, however I print, I just move forward from there. So then I come back to our editor. And when I'm finished, I've already downloaded it. I click done, and that takes me back to command. And now it's right here in my designs. From here, there's my template. I can make a copy and go. Love it.
Is there a way for us to create folders or anything in our designs so that we can just easily find the template for marketing presentation, or the template for Facebook, or the template for this?
Yeah, well, I like where you were headed with like, what should I be naming this? And almost like we think about tags in command and we want to use the same tags in our database over and over. If we use the same naming process, that could be one of the ways that we're able to find the right things again and again. So for example, if I want to go back to anything that says just listed, we have this handy search bar in designs now. So now it's pulling up anything that has just listed in the name. That could be one way that you're able to find it again. And then maybe you even filter by social. And now I see just listed social pieces. To your point, do you feel like that's something that might work for you, Marianne?
I think that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
Woohoo!
And even better, I noticed on your screen, you had demo modern. So we can choose to say template modern, template classic, and whether it's presentation or postcard or whatever else we want, if we decide that we want to use two different themes, we could.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I do use two different branding themes. I don't use all 5 wildly, but I do bounce back and forth between 2. I sometimes, and maybe it's me being immersed in all of the KW things, where I feel like I keep seeing one out there and it's like, oh, I gotta switch. I gotta be different. But that's just me.
Hey, Nicole, I'm reading an article from answers.kw. There's now folders in designs, which I wasn't aware of.
You know what, Sam? I was just looking it up because I knew the answer to that. And I was just wondering how, because I do have folders, and I was wondering how I created them. So I'm like on my command right now. And, you know, when I go to designs, I hit create designs, and then let's just say I hit social.
And you can create a folder right there on the right.
And then continue. And then when I get to that point, up on top, it says templates, my designs, and assets. And when I hit my designs, I see like the 3 folders that I've made. And
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if they're showing the main dashboard or not, but they're tucked away inside my designs.
I love this. Yes.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Sam.
Oh.
And I know when you go to my designs, there is an icon on the right that says new folders. So you can create folders. And if you do have like a just listed template like we just created, you could put that template in that folder and then go back and, you know, so you can have like just listed template or open house or how's the market or listing presentation, whatever it may be.
This is so good.
Yeah, right there on the right where it says new folder. That's where you can create a folder and put your designs in.
So we've we've got 2 different ways that we can access our past designs. And this is, what a great way to highlight this. So if we go to Commands homepage and we go to designs, we can use that search bar. We can filter by different types of projects, and it all shows up here. Or if we click create design, or if we go into one that we've created so that we can get to this dashboard of templates, then we also have access to past designs under this My Designs tab. And Mark and Sam, that's where you're pointing out that you can have folders. So any folders that you create, as long as you know how to get to them, you get to this home page here in our editor, and then you can go to the tab that says My Designs. Love it. So you can create your folders there. You'll also see next to My Designs, there is a tab called Assets. This is so important for really speeding up your process, because you saw how much I use the My Assets tab in text, in pulling in my logo, and in pulling in my headshots. I control what goes in there by coming into this Assets tab. So the way that I got here is I'm in Command, I go to Designs, and I can click Create Design and select Print or Social and Continue. And that's what's going to take me back to this template space. And before I go editing my template, I just click on the tab called Assets. And that's where I'm going to be able to add in all of these different assets that were so helpful for me. Now, when you come here, you're probably going to notice that when you click on images, you have one from your marketing profile. If you wanted to upload more images, then you can click this upload button, and it will take you just to where you can bring in any pictures that you've got on your hard drive or anywhere else that you might bring in pictures from. You can even create folders. So if I'm on different teams and I wanted to have different sets of images, I could have them living in this folder. So I can like organize all of my pictures that way as well. Sometimes I've seen agents upload pictures of listings from their portfolio. So if you wanted to come back to listings that have already sold, but it's something that you're really proud of and highlight your work, you can upload those images as well. On the left side, you also have the option to enter in different text. And that's where I put in the most frequently used text in marketing pieces for myself. Something that I would use again and again, my contact information, my website URL, my app URL, all of those different things that I want one quick, easy button for. If you have a tagline, great place to put that, because that saves me from retyping something. I can just use that replace button and go. But I think the most important thing, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Going back to the images section,
Okay.
You know that your headshot usually is a very large file. What is a good size, an appropriate size to have for use for flyers?
That's a great question. I don't know, Sam, if you've encountered this at all. Haven't found any restrictions in uploading images here. I've only had restrictions when I put them in the marketing profile. They're very specific in saying, we're looking for 360 pixels by 360 pixels. And I think that's really about, they fit into a circle. So they want a nice square image so that you don't end up with blank space on either side of the picture.
Right.
Yeah, I think the file size recommendation is under 1 megabyte. So as long as you're not uploading like your original headshot, like the photographer sends you, you're typically okay.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. So we can upload new pieces of text. If I see something that's missing in the top right corner, I've always got either this new field button or an upload button, but there's going to be some way to add more if I see something that's missing. And I want to go in and check my logos. This is where you're going to put in all different kinds of logos. Definitely your market center logos, definitely your personal or team logos. Is there anybody here who doesn't have different versions, different colorways of your market center logo? Or does everybody have it?
Don't have all of them working on it.
I know, Marianne, we've talked about your particular market center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it either. She's with me, and they had the old ones out there actually, but the newer ones, the Chattahoochee North is now on the top, I believe. And so, I mean, to follow the suit and keep modern, I've kind of created my own and screenshot them and put it into a PNG, but I know that's a lot of work. So I'm not sure where we can go for the right ones.
Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately, on the KW site, we can go in and look up our market center number, and you go through all this convoluted stuff. However, there's only 1 or 2 options, and ones that are missing are the white and a couple of others. I have not looked in the past 6 weeks, I will say, though. 6 weeks,
Okay,
yeah.
so maybe they have updated it, so that'd be great.
That'd be great, but I doubt it.
yeah. And I know that your situation for your market center is a little unique. I'll show you the path in case there's anybody else who wasn't able to speak up. Like there's a quick and easy way to find your market center's logo so that you can stay compliant. And it starts at kwconnect.com. When you see this toolbar at the top under resources in the marketing section, there's some great information here. It'll link you to your listing presentation, which, you know, we're editing in that area already. But right here, that first button is logos and branding. I refer back to the style guide from time to time. This is where you're going to find like our official fonts, our official colors, like what is KW red? What is that hex code? You can find it there. But if you keep scrolling down, you're going to see a section called Market Center Logos where you can download them. So when you scroll on down, where do I have that link to? Oh, it says that it's loading right there. That's
Hey,
different.
Marla, and that's where, Marla, you can see how the Keller Williams,
Yes.
see how she's got, and then Premier Properties, that's where Chat North is. I've got 1 or 2 of them.
Normally, this is where you would type in your market center number.
It's still
then-
loading though. Oh, because there's
Yeah, I
so
would like
much.
to see if it was updated, because like I said before, the new Keller Williams actually, well, if you can't see my screen in the background, but it reads Chattahoochee North at the top plus Keller Williams at the bottom. And I find the old ones are the opposite, or the ones from, I think, the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, the real old stuff.
Yeah, super
Isn't it
interesting.
terrible? Real old being that I think it's 5 or 6 years, maybe more since KW changed and dropped realty.
For those of the Chat North office, though, I'll connect with Jess at the front desk, see if we can get those files and get those uploaded to KW Connect. I have no idea what that entails, but we'll go down that path.
You're the
Yeah.
best. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I would say that individually, for anyone in Colorado who's watching this, you can reach out to our MCA or AMCA, our front desk. We've got copies of these for you. If you're not able to come here to KW Connect to get them, there's a specific layout from our KWRI graphic designers. That is the official layout. So this isn't, we're just kind of creating it on our own, but it's done for you, and we want to get you those logos so that you have the right ones in hand. Once you've downloaded them, you're going to upload those PNG files here so you've got access to them when you need them. And then the last thing that I really like highlighting, I love talking about these top four: colors and fonts, images, text, and logos. I find that a lot of our agents don't do as much with these other sections, but you can certainly go in and explore around with them. But I want to tell you about colors and fonts. Some of our agents, you've gone to great lengths to hire a designer, create your own personal branding. You want to make sure that that carries through even to these marketing pieces that you're creating. If you have a custom color, you can upload it so it's always the exact right color every single time. So you can create your own color palette. For fun, I just started with our official colors from KW. And all you have to do to create your color palette is click New Color Palette, and then start filling in these empty spaces with that exact color that you're looking for. Now, your designer might have given you this hex code. Great. Plug in those numbers and you'll find exactly the right one. It'll just take you there. Or you can use this dropper. So the dropper is just like magic. If you hover over a particular color, it will populate that color for you. So you can just go and steal your color from something else. If you don't know what that code is, hover the dropper over it and save it. Ta-da! I love that tool. So much fun. So
So cool.
building out this assets section is going to save you from doing all of that work time and time again. You upload it once and you always have it when you're working in designs. I think that I've told you my favorite secrets. So from here, and this is perfect, it's 11:45. From here, I'd love to encourage you to go back to Command, create a new design, whether you're making your template for your future listing, or if you've got one in hand and you've got an open house coming up, maybe make your open house flyer. But I would love for you to dive in right now and give this a try. So you're going to start by opening up Command. You're going to click on Designs, create a design, print. Maybe you bring in a listing right off the bat, or you can skip that and find it later and click Continue. And from here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm just going to hang out and be here as a resource for you. Before I do that, any comments, questions, ahas?
No, this is amazing. I just actually went in, I followed along, but however, I did one for listings and a sold little card. So it actually looks pretty cool, but I do need to get that logo and stuff downloaded because I'm using Chrome and I usually use Safari. So then it's just working, it's magic, but yeah, I like it.
Love it.
I learned like 3 new things today. Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nicole.
Oh, you guys have a blessed day.
All right. I'm going to
See you,
stop the
Marla.
recording. I'm going to be sharing this recording with Sam so that he can get it out to everybody who's interested. And then, so bye, everybody.